Welcome to the On the Edge podcast with your host, Scott Groves. So this is the DHR Pronoun Toolkit 2021. And a doctor actually sent this to me anonymously, meaning they will be anonymous to you, but I know who they are. A doctor that works for LA County Hospital sent this to me, and I took this from a PDF that this individual sent me, and I put it here in a Google document because I wanted to be able to save it. So some of the coding and some of the graphics look a little bit off, but I can guarantee you this is factual. This is the source document. I didn't mess with any of this. And, you know, in a time of a pandemic, when Gavin Newsom is telling us that the world is falling and Omicron is coming and we need to focus on our public health systems and everybody now needs to have, you know, double boosted vaccinations or whatever the new terminology is, you know, when the medical industry and the medical community and the healthcare community is under such weight and stress from this horrible disease, the big initiative at the end of 2021 is to make sure that everybody within the Los Angeles County Department of Human Resources is getting this information out to everybody that works for the LA County Department of Health Services about Pronoun Toolkit 2021. So the Board of Supervisors proclaimed October 20th, 2021 as International Pronouns Day. This is really a thing, Chris? Is this where we are? We need International Pronouns Day? My new pronouns are Jedi and asshole. Okay, I'm gonna start putting that on my Instagram. My new stated pronouns are Jedi and asshole. It will be acknowledged every third Wednesday in October. This proclamation acknowledges the importance of using gender-inclusive language, blah, 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 blah. Most people think rarely about how pronouns are used. Well, that's because for pretty much all of human history, there was men and women. You know, it's only in the last 6 months to 18 months, depending on what circles you run in, that this has become controversial. Go ahead, Chris.
Disneyland changed their in-park verbiage from ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls to dreamers of all ages.
Wait. So before they start Phantasmic or whatever, and they would always say on ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the amazing world of Disney brings you fantastic. What's it called?
Phantasmic.
Phantasmic, yeah. So they don't say that anymore?
No, they say dreamers of all ages.
Dreamers of all ages. What the fuck? All right. So the guidance that the doctor that I was talking to got from his supervisors and from HR is like, hey, yeah, this 24-page document on pronouns and pronoun equality, you know, we don't need you to memorize the whole thing, but it's really, really important, really, really important that you at least go through all the terminology. And they didn't quite say there'll be a quiz in order for you to keep your job here, but they did insinuate that, like, if you're not familiar with this terminology, there could be consequences. And obviously we have our LGBTQ plus. Okay. Then we have a SOGI, sexual orientation, gender identity expression, GNC, gender nonconforming, FTML, female to male, MTF, male to female, sex assigned at birth, gender, a person's internal understanding of their gender or perception of person's gender identity, which may include male, female, combination of that, gender identity, gender expression, I'm confused. And I have a lot of friends that are gay, and we'll just leave it at that. But I'm confused. Heterosexual, straight, heterosexism, lesbian, gay, homosexual, homophobia, bisexual, pansexual, asexual, queer, sex binary, gender binary roles, on and on and on. Transgender, transsexual, transgender men, transgender woman, gender nonconforming, non-binary, NBC, gender queer, gender variant, gender fluid, two-spirit, drag queen king, cross-dresser, androgynous, andro, intersex, gender dysphoria transition, coming out, outing, closeted, conversion therapy, pronouns, intersectional ally, on and on and on. 3 pages of terms that everybody that works for the LA County Health Services should be memorizing. And 2 things. One, in the middle of a pandemic that's supposedly taxing our entire healthcare system, is this really the number one priority? right? I know two people that are trans. If they happen to be coming into the hospital in order to get a COVID test or get treated for COVID, they don't give a shit what you call them. They don't give a shit. They just want treatment. Okay. And on top of that, this idea of like medical establishments now telling doctors that gender is an identity and not formed by chromosomes, as in like that famous line from Kindergarten Cop, boys have a penis, women have a vagina, or girls have a vagina. I think he's like, you should interject that right here, Chris. That 2-second clip from Kindergarten Cop where the little boy is like,
boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
The fact that one, that's controversial is crazy to me. And two, telling medical industry experts that they have to believe that gender is a person's understanding and that maybe that's fluid and that can change. How does that affect medical procedures, right? If a woman comes in emergency labor, is the doctor supposed to stop and ask like, hey, do you identify as a man or a woman? Are you sure you're pregnant? I mean, it's just craziness. I don't really understand it. And I don't care. If you're a transsexual man, help me out here, Chris. Transsexual man means that you were born a woman, but then you become a man, right?
Transgendered man.
Transgender. Okay. Can't say transsexual. Okay. Transgender man. If you're a transgender man, meaning you were born a woman and you weren't assigned at birth, you were born a woman. If you want to grow a penis and lop off your boobs, I think that's kind of weird. It's not what I would choose to do, but great, do it. If you're a transgender woman, and meaning you were born a man and you want to chop off your dong, turn it inside out so you have a vagina, cool. God be with you. But medically, if you walked into LA County Hospital and they're like, hey, really weird situation developing. We have a COVID vaccine that's 100% effective. You have to take one shot. You will never get COVID, guaranteed. Problem is, because it's an mRNA vaccine, meaning it works with your DNA, there's a different vaccine for women and a different vaccine for men. Which one do you want? I'm pretty sure most people would go with the one that would affect them most accurately, meaning the birth that they, or the sex that they were at birth, right? So the fact that this just makes its way into our medical community, it's super weird. And look, I'm sure there's stuff way out of my league that are actual medical and psychological issues that affect people that have these different pronoun variations. And it's important that those people get treatment to the best of our ability. But in the middle of a pandemic, should this be the number one, the number one push by the board of supervisors for, you know, what's going on in the LA County Health Services? And it's just weird. It's just weird. And not that these two are closely correlated, but this idea of changing titles, you know, a man can be a woman can be a man. I think it sets a dangerous precedent for being able to deal with factual reality, right? So going back to the Kyle Rittenhouse, when we can't even start from a point of agreed upon facts for a legal case, it's hard to have a conversation about what's going on politically, socially. When we can't even have a conversation of shared facts from a man is a man, a woman's a woman, a man's born with a penis, a woman's born with a vagina. When you can't even have that conversation without potentially being labeled homophobic or trans exclusionary or a bigot or a racist or whatever the new term of the day is to vilify people, it's just really dangerous. And I think it's silly. So those are Scott's thoughts for today. That's all I wanted to get.